Have you been told in your relationship from your significant other that no one will ever love you, that you're irritating, people don't like you, people talk behind your back, and the list goes on? Have you had these types of derogatory comments told to you? What about consistently? Do you understand what these types of comments are made to make you feel? Do you understand why the person is doing it? Do you understand the manipulation and the control behind it? This is a video that you'll want to watch if you're in a relationship where you question your value and you find yourself feeling guilt and shame more often than you want to. Hi friends, glad to be back today. And today I want to talk about these types of derogatory statements that are used to manipulate and to control us and to keep us in a relationship that's probably not very healthy. Now, I'm not sure exactly the actual comments that are made by your significant other to you, but they could be something like, they're the only one that's ever going to love you. Other people lie to you and tell you what you want to hear, but they don't really like you. You're irritating. You're too loud. Whatever, the list goes on. And it's interesting how these statements that are made over and over again actually impact our lives. Okay, and they impact our lives because we begin to believe them. Okay, see, that's the key here. And that's why the other person is using these types of statements. They're using them to manipulate you and to control you to stay in the relationship and to not leave them. And it's interesting when these statements are used, what do? Okay, first off, when these statements first come around, right, they're new. And you're in love with this person for the most part, right? You have actual feelings for them. And so when they say something like that, you don't expect somebody that you care about to be cutting you down or making you feel bad or making you feel shameful. And so sometimes it just kind of goes in one ear and out the other. But over time and with consistency, we start believing it. Right? We start believing, well, maybe other people would never be able to love me, and maybe I am really difficult, and maybe I am extremely loud, and oh my gosh, maybe people are talking behind my back and they really don't like me. And what happens in those situations? We begin to retreat. Okay, we begin to retreat and we begin to see this person as our savior, as the only person that's ever going to love us. And so we got to hold on to it like grim death. And it's interesting because what happens is we begin to be extremely more codependent with that person. It's like the opposite of what we should be doing, right? We start believing the negative comments that they're making, the negative narrative, and we actually buy into it. And so let's talk about why do they use these types of tactics in the first place? Because that's a good question, right? Well, the first thing is to break you down, right? If somebody is wanting to break you down, and wanting you to question yourself and your value, right? This is what you would do. You start wondering, am I this person? Do I really do this? Oh my God. And you start questioning yourself, right? And that's interesting because when you start questioning yourself, that's when you lose your power. That's when you give it over to the other person, right? And now they're in control. And they'll consistently, over time, add little more comments or maybe repeat the same comment or say something to you, especially when you're not expecting it, right? It's when you least expect it when it's going to be said, when you need their support. See, it's all well gauged. And then the same person comes in and saves you or helps you in a situation. So then it kind of offsets your mind. Well, they've been there for me, even though I kind of feel weird or I feel bad about myself. One of the main caveats is they don't want you to leave them. And so in the process of them not wanting you to leave them, they make you feel like almost submissive to them, subservient to them, because you need them. You see what I'm saying? If I keep telling you how bad you are, or how awful you are, or how irritating you are, you begin to question yourself and think, well, maybe I am and nobody else will want me. So we stick in this relationship, right? When in reality, we need to break the programming and realizing I don't need to be in a relationship where I am shamed and guilted into feeling like a bad person, right? See, that's where the juxtaposition happens. And so the other person keeps it up because they're insecure and fearful of you leaving them. Okay, and this is a major tactic that's used, and it goes under the radar a lot of times because what? Because we see the other person as somebody that we love and care about that would never hurt us. See, it's interesting the labels that we have, right? Many of us have labels for family members that have done some horrible things, but yet they're titled mom or dad. right? Grandma or grandpa, whatever you have. And so the titling here is interesting because this is our love interest. This is our other half, right? This is our spouse. And so we have a tendency of coloring what they say based on their title. So how do most of us respond to this type of manipulation and control? Because this is what it is. I'm just calling it out. Okay, that's all I'm saying here is like, let's look at the truth. Let's just shine some light on what these comments are all about. It's just manipulation and control. The first thing that it does is it makes you feel scared to leave the relationship, right? I was talking about that a little bit earlier because if everybody feels this way about you per your spouse or significant other, then if I leave this relationship, I'm never going to have another relationship in my life. Nobody is ever going to see my value, and I need to really stick in this because this is the only person that, well, I guess can spend time with me or can deal with me. The second thing is that it makes us cling to them, right? It makes us get more clingy, more codependent, right? And when we get more clingy, what happens? We begin to listen to them even more. We begin to literally listen to them on bated breath, accepting what they say as the gospel truth. But see, we're already going down this slippery slope because this is the programming that begins to unhinge people in a way where we feel out of control, questioning ourselves, and looking to them for answers of who we are. You know, the third thing is that you begin to do more and more things for them, right? You begin to give more, you begin to do more, right? Which actually makes you even more codependent. And the interesting thing is the more that you do for them, the more that they're going to cut you down. Okay, because they're feeling, okay, I like where I'm at right now, and I like the fact that I'm in control here. I'm going to continue to be in control. You know, I've realized that a caveat of a really quality, healthy relationship is that when you do things for other people, it's given back. You know, it's reciprocity. It's kind of a circular deal where you give, they give, you get, and it works out. But when you're constantly giving and coming up short, or constantly giving and still being told how you're not a great person, or still being told how you're irritating, this needs to be type of a wake-up call. And you know, last but not least, the interesting part too is that when we're being told these things, we actually feel like this is the only person that's ever going to be there for us, right? We begin to feel insecure. We begin to feel powerless. We begin to lose our identity. And the reasons why these types of comments effectively work is because we really don't know who we truly are consistently as far as our full identity. And in order to find that, we actually have to get into that programming and understand what has been keeping us from being able to see our truth or value. Even people who have worked consistently on trying to figure out direction, value, purpose, even that when you're in a relationship where someone is consistently putting you down, remember, we as humans have a tendency of believing the negative over the positive. And so the reason for this video is just so it begin to understand, are you in a relationship that the other person is using these negative derogatory statements to put you in a box to control you? Have you actually taken pen and paper to writing down the comments that they make about you? And have you realized how that impacts your life? This is just the beginning. Okay, once we begin to see this as happening in the relationship and we begin to write down and see what's being told to us, then we can see how there is manipulation and control being used against us. And one of the biggest things too is that if you're not returning these negative type comments back to them, which I'm probably sure that you're not, why would they be giving you these types of comments in the first place unless it is only manipulation and control? And so I want you to think about that. So writing down some of this information, paying attention to what's being told to you, seeing what the other person is saying about you. You know, in a healthy relationship, yes, we all have things that we need to work on, but the way we say it, the way we express it. In a healthy relationship, we express the good things, the positive things about the other person as well. We're not trying to make them feel insecure or small, okay? And so think about that. Gauge that. And this could be really an eye-opening experience for you, because if this is going on under the radar and you're not aware of it, it's making you question your value, it's making you question your identity, and it's keeping you in a relationship that, quite honestly, is very toxic. I hope this video has helped you. If you've liked this video and it's connected with you, please give us a like on this video. We appreciate that. Also, if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please do. And in the comments section, I'd love to hear from you if you have done some of this work and been able to be aware of it, How long did it take you to be aware of the fact that your significant other was doing this? And how did you work to not only express yourself, but to exit that toxic relationship and find your true identity? Also, if you haven't already checked out, you can actually join the channel and be a member, and there's options for exclusive content, which we create as well. And so the information there, just push that join button and you can learn more about being a member of the channel. Thank you so much for watching this video and for sharing it, and don't forget to live your true life.